There we are. Why do we always start with issues?
Why did the camera...
I think the icon is bad.
Yeah, but I tested it just a second ago and it worked. So, okay.
Yeah, that's just strange.
Welcome
Yeah.
to Going Off to Work stream.
Where we, as per usual, start with technical issues.
Yeah. We're professionals.
Yeah, we do this all the time.
Yeah, we're not professionals.
No,
Definitely
I meant
not.
professional mess-ups.
Yeah.
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 Tech is easy to mess up. Hey, we have friends in chat room. Hello, how are you doing? Now we have pictures. Do we have sound this time? That's the question. Color coordinating Jessica's hair and Jimmy's top. Ah, sort of, yeah. Actually, it's not this bright. Well, it is bright, but it's more the same color as my glasses. I think the camera is a little bit off. But yeah, it's a little bit in your face.
It is red.
It is very
red.
red. It's
Yeah.
very red. That is for sure.
So, I spoke at a conference.
Yes.
I think this was, a couple of months ago. And
I remember.
they sent me care package things.
You love anything that's a surprise.
I do.
Yeah. You know how I know that?
Because surprise!
You have it here?
I do.
Nice.
So first of all, I got.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, you're right. I just sneaked a peek. So I got this book, Mastering the ABP Framework. So it was ABP conference that I spoke at. So packed, sponsored with books for all the speakers.
That's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And I got this package.
You love secret boxes.
I do.
Yeah.
Now I already know what's in it, though.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
But look how nice it is. It's like a proper box.
Proper box?
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's open this one up here. You'll see that we got some paper. Paper. Yeah.
I like paper.
So we have I believe this is kind of a key ring with the USB connectors.
Oh, with
for
multiple
charging,
chargers.
Yeah, for charging iPhone, USB-C and USB micro, I think.
Well, that's handy.
Yeah. So that's one thing. It's actually a box filled with lots of things. It's not,
Which is your favorite?
I know.
Do you want me to hold it for you or something?
Yes, please, if you may. So this is another
Hey,
box.
Napalm!
It's a box.
Oh, you have a box
in
your box? Oh my gosh, there's a bunch of
I
stuff
know.
here.
So this seems to be some kind of
Oh my
gosh. It's actually a USB memory. Look at that.
It kind of
looks
reminds
like a
me
robot.
of Bender
True,
from Futurama.
True, yeah.
What else did you get? What else?
It's kind of fun, isn't it?
Well, I don't know what it is.
Look at that. A Rubik's Cube.
Oh, you like those?
I do. Actually, this Christmas, I think it was on the right side of the New Year. I think it
The
was...
right side?
Yeah.
Which is the right side?
Last year. Last year is the right side.
Which is basically Christmas. It's in the name. There's only Christmas before the year.
You're thinking like that. Okay.
Yeah.
It was
once a year we have Christmas.
It was on the Christmas. It was during the Christmas leave while your mom was here and stuff like that.
He needed something to be occupied because my mom was here a long time.
So I think it was before I think it was actually on New Year's Eve.
Does it matter?
It does, because 2022 was the year when I actually solved my first Rubik's Cube. So that is important on what part of the year. So here's a coaster.
Oh, it's invisible. Ah, look at that.
Invisible coaster. Let's see, we have some stickers. We love coding. We do too.
How did they know?
I know, right? Let's see here. We got some more stickers.
Nice.
Even more stickers.
They know how
and
to.
what do you know? Even more stickers.
That's how you get to any developer's heart, or at least laptop.
So is this kind of like the someone goes into a bank and they go like this? This is a sticker.
Oh no. We're not starting with the puns already.
Okay, what is this? Oh, this is one of those camera covers.
I like those. So Napalm asks, what vendor is this? This is actually from a conference that Jimmy was speaking at, and they send a care package as a thank you.
Yeah, even more coasters.
Oh, they have friends. We actually have, but while you are unboxing, we have another question. Is there a hidden message in the binary in your background? Yes, there is.
Who knows?
I mean, I don't know.
A pen?
So do we tell, or do we just let them figure it out for themselves?
I think they need to figure it out. Another one of these camera cover thingies there.
I like those. Feel a little bit
what is this?
safer.
I don't even know what this is. It's a black box. It's a black box.
What's in the box?
What is this?
Looks fancy.
Hey, I think it is a charger.
Oh, a QA charger.
Look at that. This is awesome.
Nice.
This is
and it's
awesome.
slim as well, so that's good.
Yeah, really good looking.
Oh my gosh! I need to speak at that conference.
I know, right? And even more stickers.
This is fantastic. This is some care package.
Yeah. And what do we have here? A mug. So if you clip this is my mug shot.
I'm sorry. He started already.
And
some information.
Yeah, information about the ABP framework.
Is this the last thing?
This is the last thing.
Okay.
The last thing is like a million things.
Oh my god, it's so
this
messy.
is a portable wireless speaker.
Oh, that's nice.
It's a really, really nice care package.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really, really messy in the background. But hey, that's okay. It's okay. It's okay. So that's nice.
Yeah.
We do actually have some other piece of news. Mm-hmm. Today, we got awarded Microsoft MVP for the 10th year in a row, which is... That's a full decade.
It's a long time.
We're old.
I honestly didn't think that I would manage to get 5 years.
No.
Every year, they're going to find me out. They're going to find me out. They're going to find me out.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a fraud. I'm not doing enough. Literally, this is what we do in our spare time all the time.
Yeah.
Trying to give back to the community because we love the community.
And well, another year.
Yeah. No pressure.
Oh, cheers.
No, that's really nice.
It is, and I think it's a fantastic community, and I mean, there is kind of like we get questions like, how do you become an MVP, and there is kind of a very common answer that no one want to hear.
Yeah.
But do what you love. If you do love sharing knowledge, you're gonna eventually get the MVP status, right? Or award.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, so this is also very common. Napalm says, I should talk to you. That's something I would love to be. I have no idea what it takes or if it's achievable for a... Oh my gosh. Of course it is. We thought the same. Every single year we think the same. Mm. We do not do enough. But apparently we do. And it's really not so much about getting the award as much as giving back to the community. Because, like you said, if you have that passion, if that is writing books, or if that is blog posts, or being on Stack Overflow or streaming, whatever it is, speaking at conferences, doesn't matter. You don't have to do it all. Some people only do books. Some people, I know, there's an acquaintance of us who only do Stack Overflow, but like a gazillion of them. So it's all different. And it's also different between the different groups. That's a lot of different in the same sentence. So we are in developer tools, which is a little bit larger. Developer technologies it's called. Yeah, it's been so many names. We started out in the Windows application, I think it was called, and then it was app dev. I don't know what it was.
Many names, same desk.
Yeah, exactly. But now we switched a couple of years ago. Last year, I think it was last year.
Last year, yeah.
So it's all coming down to all the people who are nominated in your group against each other. So just it's not. We could easily be kicked out if there's another person who is doing a lot more than we do. It gives you nothing that you have been at 10 years in a row. It doesn't give you anything. It's a new renewal every year. It sounds like it's just like, okay, another year, but it's actually a new evaluation. Yeah. So it's all depends on what you want to do. But pick a topic, and with topic I mean like a broader. Is it developer technologies, or is it Windows dev, or is it Azure or something? And you will be fine. And of course, we're happy to talk to you with some ideas. And open source is also very, very useful. And I know you've been talking about that. So for sure.
So if you're following me on Twitter, I did a post recently where I said I'm starting up. So last week we didn't do a stream.
My fault.
And instead I did work on a library. And I am not going to share that today.
Why did you mention it then?
Because I did mention on Twitter that I
But this
might
isn't Twitter.
do it. So I'm thinking, and a little bit of cliffhanger. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be revolutionary.
Oh my gosh, stop it. Subscribe.
So I'm actually not going to share it this time, but hopefully next time, because I'm waiting. The library is actually pretty done, but I'm waiting for some stuff to arrive.
Okay, yep. I have my suspicions. Yeah. So we get another unboxing?
Yeah, perhaps. I don't want to say no. I like unboxing stuff.
You like boxing. You like...
Rocky.
Yeah, that too. Well, I meant the packages.
Oh, okay.
But sure. Let's go with the Rocky.
Oh, I totally missed that one. I should have brought the package, and I must break you.
That's fun.
Thank you.
And you should have like Eye of the Tiger running in the background.
Yeah.
And yeah. Oh, we're already here. We haven't even started.
It's not about how many times you... No.
Fall down. You've seen it way too much. Way too much.
But let's pop over to my computer. Let me see here. There it is. We have a conference coming up.
We do.
We talked about this last time as well.
Yeah.
Call for paper is still open. I believe it's like 4 days left or something like that.
It's last day is on the 10th.
So 4 days.
Yeah.
Look at me. I did math.
You did math faster than me? Well, I have a migraine, so there you go.
So it's still open. Submit. As all speakers, I have not done that yet. I'm waiting for the 10th.
We've been asked to.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anytime now.
But
also, we're on the program committee, which feels, for me, it feels a little biased to send in my own submission.
This guy, this Blazor is...
But Just to be clear, when we do stuff like that, since we are a bunch of speakers who also organize this conference, we actually don't evaluate our own stuff. We leave that to everyone else. So it's not that biased, but it still feels like, this is my conference. Of course I'm going to speak. So actually, usually I don't send in point blank. But yeah, maybe this time. Because I know there's some really cool people that have submitted.
Yeah. Yeah. And while we're talking about really cool people or things...
We have friends!
We do. So...
Progress Telerik
has amazing Blazor UI controls. And we're going to use them today.
Yeah.
We're going to use even more controls. Last week we did some map stuff. Today we're gonna do some other stuff, and I'm gonna show you how we do it on where I work and how we implement these kinds of controls.
Hey, Tyndall, you are not terribly late today. Nice, welcome. And we also have Dukasoft here, but I can't lift it in because now our magic chat lifter in there. Why haven't we done some research and switched this out to something that works?
I honestly don't believe there is one. I think this is the best.
How does other people do?
I don't know.
Yeah, we need to look at that. Also, we got a kitty from Tyndall. His kitty, actually. Yes, I did get a new haircut because it's so warm, and I run very warm, and it's been like 28, 29, 30 degrees Celsius here, which is my melting point is below that.
And in this studio, we got like 1,000 lights warming us up. And I'm kind of like, I usually go out and I start the AC in the studio to get a little bit of air and cold here. But I actually forgot today, so it's warm.
Yeah, well, it's my fault as well because I actually were here setting things up before, so I could have started it, but I was too lazy. Oh, you did the same thing? Are we twinsies now? Unless you meant the AC. We can be twinsies there too. So have you submitted for Sveatug yet, Tyndall? Nah, the haircut. I haven't. Well,
it's still open.
Like we just ranted. Neither have we actually was asked to submit. So yeah, we got it.
Yeah, we asked Tyndall as well. So.
Well, you don't have a full week. You actually have until the 10th. So we will need to hunt you down a little. Aren't you like the main organizers? Yes, we are, but. I mean, that would be biased if we took advantage of that. So right before you came on, we said that we actually don't evaluate our own submissions. We leave that to the rest of the group because it feels a little bit awkward.
And I believe we do have a meeting with the content group on the 11th.
Yeah.
So after the 10th, it's full stop.
By the way, congrats on renewed MVP, Jimmy. Did you get yours too, Jess? I did. 10 years. A full decade. You know how old that makes us? I mean, I was 10 when I got it first.
Yeah,
so.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Oh, thanks. Oh, look at that. I could actually include Dukasoft this time.
Hey.
Thank you. You have the page all loaded.
I have a page loaded, and we last time we implemented a map and stuff like that, and I talked to my friend and I said, yeah, you can check out the map, and I realized that we actually didn't link to the map. We just implemented it, we didn't add a link to the map, so we can't actually see the map at this point. But I do believe if we are lucky, we might have...
Is it the emote thingy? No, it's not. I can actually see your cat. It's just purely random. Sometimes it's every other message. Sometimes it stops completely. Sometimes it's just, So, like Dukasoft, I can't see now. I mean, I can see it on the screen, but I can't see it in the featured chat.
Yeah, sometimes not. So this is the map we did last time.
Mm-hmm. That we cannot link to.
And it went a little bit crazy. There we go.
Maybe a little bit too.
Yes,
that is a map, says Tyndall.
Yes.
Nice confirmation. We got that right. You're semi-transparent, maybe, because we see you sometimes. That's a good power to have.
So what I'm thinking is that we're going to implement two things here. We're going to implement a date picker.
Yep.
That is going to default to whatever the conference we are currently at. So let me back up. So when we're looking at a conference, I'm thinking that you would be able to click the location and then go to this map, so that you can see, is there anything happening around that time? Mm-hmm. And then I'm thinking that we're going to have a slider where we can control the radius.
Yes, that sounds good.
And also date pickers so that we can say, you know what,
only give me the conferences in this area in June.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or around those dates.
That's nice. So did you know that the whole zoom in and keep the pointer at the same place on the map is really annoying problem to solve? Because it is. Yeah, maps are interesting. Hi, Simon. Oh, that was like Swedish and English at the same time. Simon.
And congrats, Simon.
Yes, congratulations for your MVP award. Renewal. But renewal sounds so, well, you had it already, but it isn't. It is actually a new...
Yeah. I have the exact same feeling.
Yeah.
I got renewed.
But it's
just
not
gonna
on
continue.
auto.
Definitely not.
No, we have friends who did not get. They did a ton in the community, but they did not get. Oh. Thank you.
All right. So let's create components. Let's do that. So I'm going to pop into the components folder.
Mm-hmm. We all like components.
I know, right?
And it says Telerik here.
Where?
Using statement.
Yeah, of course. So I'm going to do a awesome. No, not awesome. Awesome date picker.
Yes, it is a new haircut. I'm guessing you are referring to me because it's a little bit more dramatic than Jimmy's. Because
mine is not new.
So warm. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I basically told my hairstylist, I am running way too warm. Just get rid of whatever you want to get rid of. He's like, but buzz her out. That's fine. I think I'm a nightmare and the best client ever because whatever they say, I do. When it comes to my hair. Give me all your money. Nope. Well, sort of. No, Jimmy did not get a haircut. That's true.
Nope.
Not yet.
Okay, so we're going to create our own component.
Okay.
So... or actually, we're going to use Telerik, but this is the way that I usually prefer to do my components, because I'm adding an extra layer on top of things.
Right.
But that is not completely straightforward, and that's what we're going to take a look at today.
So we could use Telerik's DateRangePicker component straight out of the box, like nothing has done. We could also make our own if we want to.
Yes.
And this is sort of a combination to make it a little bit easier.
Exactly, because we're going to use the power of Telerik, like having a million developers. No, probably not, but they have a lot of developers that know their stuff, right?
Yeah.
And instead of me figuring all of this stuff out, I can leverage their power, but still get kind of there's actually two reasons for me doing this, or actually it's more reasons, but the primary reason is that I want to lock things down. Because if all the developers in my team gets unlimited power, suddenly we're going to have a blue button, a gray button, and a green button.
And then you will have Jessica on your throat.
Yeah.
Getting upset.
So I kind of want to lock down, and I want to be able to standardize things.
And this could also be handy if, let's say, you're using another vendor's component and you want to switch over to Telerik or vice versa. You can still do that and keep your code as is. You just switch out the component. Or, like you said, you have a little bit more control over it. So I like it. You like your component like I like my sandwiches, with many layers of goodness. Yeah, why not? Yeah, the power of friendship. Our shared friend, Ed Chabanot. I see you are not writing his last name, and I know why. No, he's a nice person that works at Progress.
Yeah. So I popped in a couple of namespaces here. And then we're going to add a Telerik DateRangePicker, because we want a start date and an end date, right?
Yeah.
Let Visual Studio help me here. There we go. And this is kind of a pet peeve for me, because this is how most people write their components. Like they have a start tag and an end tag.
And why is that a pet peeve of yours?
Nothing inside.
Oh, okay.
So what we can do instead is simply just add the end tag right there. And we don't have to have all of that stuff messing about. Okay, so we need a couple of things for this to work. Now we want to be able to bind the start date and the end date, because that makes sense, I think. But now this part is the tricky part to explain, because when you're binding to a model, you're binding to a specific property in that model. And if you do like at bind, let me see here, bind, and let's say start value. What it's doing in the backend, it's actually setting up the start value property. It's setting up the start value changed event, and it's setting up the start value expression. So all these three things is happening in the bind. And so the start value property is for setting the value. The start value changed, or the event, is for notifying that, hey, something changed. And the expression is what is used to notify the model or the edit context that something has changed and you need to update. But for the Telerik DateRangePicker to understand that, we need to notify back all the way back to the model and say that it's the model dot whatever property it is, and not the property inside of this class. And I'll see if I can make that a little bit clearer. So
yeah, we need to go one layer further, right?
Exactly.
And also we have a question. At what time are you picking me up for our date? You have a date picker. And also is it just you and me, or can Jess come too? Well, you know, we love it in your area, so. We both have fun cars.
So in this case, we could have done it like this, right?
Yeah.
Just bind start value and the local variable of start date here. But what is actually going to happen is that when we change that, it's going to notify this, which is called start date.
Yeah.
And not all the way back to the model.
Okay.
Now,
so it's just going into Telerik, the Telerik component in the start date there.
Actually, it's the problem is really the other way around.
Oh, okay.
So this is going to work, but for the edit context to understand that we made a change, but we didn't make a change in start date. We actually made the change all the way out in the model, since we're doing an extra layer here.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's kind of the problem.
But that's the problem with abstracting it like you do, or encapsulating components.
Exactly.
Okay, so you get pros and cons. You just need to think about where you need to update the information. Okay, got it.
So the main, and this is actually going to work.
Yeah.
But what is going to fail, I actually haven't tried this with the Telerik components, but what is typically going to fail is that the Telerik DateRangePicker will have some kind of it's going to add CSS clauses for if it's invalid or modified. And typically the valid or invalid CSS is not going to get triggered, which will fail. So in what we're doing here, we're not going to add an edit context. We're not going to add a model because we don't need it. So I'm not going to be able to show this all the way.
But if you want to do it all the way or use other stuff, we need to do it. Yeah. Can I inherit from a Razor component to make it my own?
You can. That is absolutely possible. And we have example of both. So in this case, I would probably do it like I'm doing it right now. But we also have a data grid, for example, and that has like 1 million properties, and it has columns and stuff like that. So in that case, we're basically just inheriting all the different parts, but we're calling it awesome date column or whatever it may be.
Encapsulation versus inheritance,
Yeah. But it all depends on your needs, really. It's like everything. It depends.
Yeah. It's the best and worst answer at the same time.
But to make this work, we need to add a event callback and we need to add a expression. So we're going to do that. So basically,
we got some glitter in the chat room, so you can guess who's here. Lavasoft, welcome.
Lavasoft,
good to see you.
That has hopefully seen Rocky 4 by now. It's like been a million weeks since we spoke about that.
Weeks.
I have even seen Rocky 4 since last time we saw it.
You weren't that impressed. 4. Okay, sorry. I heard Balboa thingy.
I wasn't that impressed either because I saw the. I think it was last year. Stallone redirected or whatever. He put in some content that was not in the movie original.
Basically, director's cut.
Yeah, and I didn't totally love it. Started for.
I have seen a Rocky. Does that count? I think it does. No,
it does not.
You watched 3 and started 4. Well, that's progress, I'd say. For sure. I'm a little bit impressed, actually.
So to make this happen, to make this work, we need to add a start date. We need to add an event callback with the date time. Mm-hmm. Now, the Telerik components are actually generic. So you can see that. Now I'm pointing at my screen here. But you can see that it has a datetime picker of T. But it did not work with date only. And that is actually what we're using.
Right.
But so I just, you know what? We just can use datetime. That way we won't get into trouble if we want to use date only and the component says stop. So I'm kind of stopping before that and just saying, you know what? It's going to be datetime. So what we need to do to get that to work is that we need to remove the @bind. and instead get start value changed.
So Lavasoft is starting to wonder if he wants to watch more than these 4, though. I'm not sure you do. I think you're fine.
Actually, you do want to watch. I would say that yes, you do.
No, that's you.
No, but so here's the thing. Here's the thing. There are things happening in 5 and 6. I believe it's 5 and 6.
Oh my gosh, how many have they done?
But then we have Creed. So there you have 3 more movies. The first 2 is with Stallone. You totally need to see those as well. 1 and 2 is awesome. Number 3 is, well, let's not talk about number 3.
No, let's not open that box. So, does the Telerik Bestonant, I'm guessing component, have a dependency-less UI framework version, as in no Bootstrap Tailwind, just pure CSS? Dependency-free, sorry.
They have their own CSS, if that's what you're
but it's
actually
not
asking.
I'm not reliant on Tailwind or Bootstrap if I use their product.
No,
No.
not as far as I can tell. Why isn't this working? Oh, because it's actually called...
Yeah, so Lavasoft read about them and was, well, I might not be able to stay awake watching them now. It's, I gave up. I saw one Creed, and then I was like, no, thank you, I'm done now.
Oh, come on. Start.
You were trying to be funny and I butchered it? Oh no. Sorry.
So to make it actually work all the way back to the UI or to the model, we need to do it like this. We need to supply the start value, the start value change, which is the event handler, and the expression. The expression is really the most important thing, but the value change is the one that's going to notify everything all the way back. So this is what we need to get that to work. And we need to do that twice because we want the end date as well. So let's copy that. And I'm sure that you know this feature, but this is seriously the best feature in the world.
KS.
No.
Damn it! That's the other one.
Shift-Alt.
Shift-Alt.
And you can select this, all the things you need.
And they only take...
And end. Boom.
What?
I know, right? It's like...
I was expecting something completely different. I thought you were just going to...
It solves like all the problems in the world.
That's what I was thinking you were doing. Huh. There's a way to put your caret at different places on different lines too, but I can't remember it. Yes, I've seen that. Like, sort of put it on this row and be done with it. Also, Tyndall is a fan of Shift-Alt.
Yeah.
Shift-Alt.
And I always forget about that awesome feature. I'm like...
So you get to relive it again and again.
Because wait a minute, isn't there a... every time.
You can do that? Imagine placing it before the end bracket in multiple places to just add something to multiple tags.
That would be nice.
I think it's just Alt-click. You can do it. I'm just not sure how. And Simon to the rescue. In Visual Studio Code, you hold Alt and click for multi-cursor. That is freaking cool.
It is.
My absolute least favorite keyboard shortcut is Control Dot. I hate it with gusto.
But you don't really.
I don't really. But what I do hate is when people do tutorials and they forget to say that, and you're a beginner and you spend better part of a freaking day, like 6 hours on a problem, trying to pause the video, look at the code, and can't figure it out. And Jimmy comes home, press 2 keys, and then you're done. Yeah.
So Tyndall says Control-I, Alt-click. Look at that.
Huh.
That's pretty cool. I didn't know about that, actually.
That's cool.
So we need to do one more thing to get all of this to work, because we're binding stuff back and forth, but we want to, when we are changing the dates, we want to load the data. Hey, C-Sharp Fritz in the house.
Yay!
Welcome.
Welcome, friends! In Visual Studio Code, you mark a word and hit Control-D to mark the next occurrence of the same text. Then you can multi-edit. This is some freaking cool stuff. I'm sorry, but it is cool. I'm very easily impressed. Thank you for the follow!
Lucilulin is now following.
Oh, Visual Studio has broken bindings? There you go.
So welcome, Raiders. Just to let's talk about what we're doing.
Yes.
We're implementing Telerik DatePicker, but we're doing it with a little bit of
Erica Vanatsdalen is now following.
layering. So we're doing our own control, but we're using the DatePicker in the backend.
Yeah, so basically
we're
we're
doing.
encapsulating Progress Telerik component.
Yes. In this case, we're gonna see what we're doing with that.
But there's a lot of things that are it's not the same. Thank you. That is not the same in Visual Studio and Visual Studio Code, which is a little bit. It's good and bad. It's good because I don't need to feel overwhelmed if I find myself in code, because I'm more friendly. I'm on more friendly terms with Visual Studio Code than I am with Visual Studio. However, it is a little confusing. So when I was doing tech review for your Blazor book, I had to use Visual Studio. Well, I didn't have to, but I was using Visual Studio, and that was a little bit confusing because it's so similar, but some things aren't the same. Yeah. Some shortcuts are completely different, which messes with my head a little bit.
It's really odd that when they did Visual Studio Code that they didn't keep like a format document, for example. Those are actually not the right one.
You need to be in code. You want to be in code. I know that. We need to talk to this person. No, use what you want. I'm more familiar with Visual Studio Code as well. Yeah, I like it. It's less overwhelming, for sure. At least for me. I need more chocolate if I'm going in Visual Studio for sure.
I don't remember what you were actually doing, but you were doing something in Visual Studio and she was swearing a lot. So,
like a sailor or something. Isn't that what you say?
What?
Like a sailor? In Sweden we say like a chimney cleaner thingy person, but it doesn't translate really.
Yeah, so I just went off from my desk, walked out the door, went to the store, bought some chocolate, went back, and just slammed it on the table. Here.
He said nothing. He said nothing. Just gave me the chocolate, and I was all of a sudden I was a little bit better. I was a little bit nicer than it takes some chocolate for me to be nice. To me, I work mostly with Visual Studio. I'm a menus guy. Okay, Visual Studio Code command palette is a bit of a challenge to me. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. That's why I like we actually have the option, so I don't have to be scared when I see code, and people can find their menu. If you move our cheese, we will get mad. Oh yes, like a sailor. you swear at Visual Studio too? See, we're all friends here.
So for the things that we're doing today, I actually did prepare a couple of code snippets, if you will.
Yeah.
But I thought that this might be a good opportunity to show the stage coder extension.
Oh, yeah.
Just briefly. So what I've done is I've created a...
You're on my side again.
So what I've created is a stage coder extension for Visual Studio, where you can basically add, you can create snippets that you can replace like comments and stuff like that. But in this case, I have a screen over here, where I have another Visual Studio. So I just copied the code that I want to use.
And this is great for doing code demonstration. If you're a little bit unsure if your nerves can handle live coding, or if you have something you need to do in the office and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And Jimmy have had people coming up to him after a talk like, my gosh, your typing skills, I had never seen anything like it. Which is because he's cheating, which I think you're going to show now.
Yeah. So there are a couple of different versions of this plugin or different functionality. So one is type. So that's basically going to, every time I just, I will take a comment, press that button, and it's going to remove the comment, find the snippet with the same name as the comment, and then I can just type on the keyboard. You can
press on just whatever you want. Yeah.
There is a replace one, so I can take the comment, press that's what you're gonna press the button.
Yeah, and Tyndall is showing basically hackertyper.co.
Yeah.
And he also says that Stage Coder is such an awesome cheat, and I love the fact that it exists. Oh, thank you. Oh, and actually our friend Simon, Raccoon Typing, there you go. Simon has actually been working with you.
Yes, so let's talk about that in just a second. So what I can do is that I have my trusty Stream Deck here, so I can press the clipboard button. So what it does is that it's going to take whatever I have in the clipboard, load that into the plugin. So now I can just type here. I can any button.
Yeah, right now it's a lot of F and K.
Yeah. So I can.
Which isn't a
and
good
the nice
combination.
thing. And the nice thing here is that I can say like, so I'm creating an event callback with the date range picker change event args, and I can stop, continue to talk about that, and I'm gonna name it on change.
That's my favorite thing, because it's a little bit more natural than just pasting in your snippet. Because if you paste it in, first of all, I don't know exactly what code you pasted in, and you can't pause and talk about a specific part of that.
So I'm gonna pop over to
so the whole and I'll paste in the 200-line snippet.
And that, I mean, there are a couple of different versions of the live coder. You're basically going to either do that, just paste it in, and it's going to be like a little bit of too much information, or you will do a small snippet. You will have the person that types, oh, that was wrong, let me go back, let me see here, did I forget something, I forgot something, I don't remember, and all of those kinds of things. But Simon has done something truly cool.
And just to put it out there, it's nothing wrong if you are doing it that way.
No, of course
it's just a way of doing it, and that's what prompted your idea for
exactly.
that.
So we do a lot of like speaker skills training, and we talk about speaker skills and stuff like that. And we see that the code bit of speaker skills is never, you never talk about that.
No, exactly.
So, and I am a horrible typer.
He is.
So I kind of I need this to be able to demo stuff on stage.
Well, you're not a bad typer, but when there's people looking at you, even if it's me behind your back, you all of a sudden forget how to type.
Yeah.
When you are on stage, that doesn't feel good. So, and if you have that added stress, you will be more stressed.
And also, if you forget something, you are never as stupid as when you are on stage.
Exactly.
Because you can't think.
Exactly. Simon is a PowerShell master, by the way. Oh, for sure. He's the grandmaster of PowerShell.
But what he has done is that he have made a PowerShell version of Stagecoder.
Yeah.
Let me zoom in here. So you can use PowerShell, get the same functionality like just typing away and getting the right button every time. Thank you for the follow.
Thank you. How did you continue? Like, imagine a wizard, but with PowerShell, and then look up Simon's headshot and at the MVP registry, and it's exactly like what you have imagined. He is fantastic, though, for sure. So we have... Simon is blushing? No.
I think this is so cool.
It is super, super cool. We actually have a random question, I wouldn't say, but Napalm asks if anyone knows... Oh, that's not... There we go. Does anyone know, can you run a REST API in a .NET solution that also has a queue listener in the same solution? I don't want to have a web app and a separate console process for smaller solutions.
One is now following.
I think maybe, and there was a continuation that I cannot lift in because software sometimes doesn't work. Maybe if you deploy a self-hosted exe, I think it's not a problem at all.
I have no idea, to be honest. So
we do have one suggestion for that. Let me see if I can lift that in. There you go. If you deploy it to IIS, it gets weirder, I think, but still doable. Weird, but doable. I mean, we all have to compromise somewhere, so... Yeah, we also need a meeting for those who swear at Visual Studio or code, for sure.
And I believe that...
Oh, you can use Azure Functions for that. The wizard to the rescue.
And I think GitHub is actually working on GitHub Copilot Voice.
Voice?
So now you can actually swear at Visual Studio and Visual Studio is going to get offended.
I would never. I am so nice to all our digital assistant because I want to live the longest.
Yeah, so now when you're swearing
when
at Visual Studio...
When the uprising comes, they will know. Remember when you swore at GitHub?
And you're Visual Studio, and Visual Studio is going, okay, so you want to delete all the code? Is that what you want me to do? I can do that.
Oh, we do actually have another interesting question, which we haven't talked about for a while. Is it worth paying the $10 for ChatGPT? I'm on the fence with the free GPT at the moment.
$10? Isn't it more than that?
I think we pay like 20?
Yeah, I think so.
At least that's what they're...
And the answer is yes.
Or is it...
Whatever amount of money we're talking about, the answer is yes. Or are we talking about Copilot? In that case, yes.
Okay. Yeah, there you go. It might be have been my...
The answer is always yes.
I would love to see the code comments Copilot puts in Jessica's code. Have some damn chocolate, woman. That's the code comment I would get.
I really like how you read that with the evil laughter as well.
Well, he's not wrong. Oh, yeah. Okay. So ChatGPT is around 20 and Copilot is 10. So my mistake. Yeah. Both AIs, both good.
I can't live without it.
Yeah, Shirley Dev says it's Copilot is worth it.
Yeah.
Is it Shirley or Surly?
I don't know.
I hope I don't offend you. I like you.
There is I have a friend, a coworker. So the real problem with Copilot is that you're not really saving time, because it's like suggesting something and you go, oh wait, this is cool, this solved my problem, and then you need to call a coworker saying like, what is up with this? It's actually solved my problem. How did it know all of this stuff? And it's every time. So what actually happened with my coworker, he added some comments, and Copilot stepped in, helped him with the problem, solved the problem, and he was like, yeah, it didn't work. It didn't work. It didn't know what it was doing. And then he came back a couple of minutes later. So my unit test was the wrong thing.
Yeah, it was him. But for sure, you will save some time, but you will lose the amount because you're amazed.
Yeah,
that's what you're saying.
But the really nice thing is the fact that you can do simple tasks, and it will help you figure those tasks out. Things that you're like, oh, wait a minute, how do I do this? It can solve.
It's a very good duck programmer, for sure. Did he ask the right question? Yeah, that's also very, very important. But it's also good because it's contextual, so you can keep asking. Like, well, it wasn't exactly what I was asking.
Yeah, not Copilot, but
no, of course not. See, now I'm confusing them again. I know the difference. It's just like my brain isn't on par today. I'm on my third dose of migraine meds. So yeah, a lot of caffeine has gone into this brain today. I take no responsibility of the words that comes out.
No responsibility of the words that's coming out of my mouth.
Yeah, for sure.
So let's go back to the
I wasn't listening fast enough, so I didn't catch the context. That's me. I do that. And sometimes I listen a little bit too fast, so I miss the context. I'm somewhere else.
Can I continue now?
Yeah, sure. But we have so much fun in the chat room. You do you. Fine, do coding.
Just demo the stuff when you're done. So what we need to add is a on-change event here as well. So I just added that was the one where I demoed the stage coder. So I added an event callback called onChange, and we're just going to pipe that event callback straight into the control. A friend of mine, he had a little bit of trouble figuring out when to use the @ sign and when not to. And we actually came up with a nice solution for that.
Okay.
Because we said that if it's not a string, or if it is a variable in any kind of variable, we're going to use the @ sign. Actually, I know the difference when to use it and not use it.
Yeah.
But let's see if we have like something we can use here. This one maybe. This is string.
Tyndall says that his friend writes all the bad code in his repositories, and I always have to come in and clean up after him. It's terrible. Is that friend called Tyndall as well? Because that happens to me sometimes.
That friend is called Eric, and this is Tyndall, right? That's what we're...
Yeah, for sure. You need better friends. No. I think he's in a denial. Maybe he needs chocolate. That works for me.
So when we talk about when to use @ and not to use @, so in this case we have a string, so area label. In this case, it understands what it's all about. It understands that, well, this is a string. Mm-hmm. If we were to use a variable here instead, we would need to add the @ sign.
Okay.
Going from HTML or in this case from the component back to like C# land.
So this is basically the same as I remember from your book. If we are using HTML and Blazor code together, we need to use the @ to tell the code that we're actually going into Blazor mode.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
And that
I remembered something.
So that's basically what is happening here. So in case that the property is a string and we are actually supplying a string, not a variable containing a string, you don't need to have an @. So in this case with onChange, it's going to understand that the onChanged variable is an event callback. We cannot supply a string to work with that.
Okay, so I'm dying here because we have thickdoll. This is not Thindle. This is Thindle's bad coder friend called thickdoll.
Fair enough.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
Did you just create a new Twitch account
It's
to...
brilliant. That was straight out from my bot account. No, he had it already.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's your imaginary friend. I love it. We have the best people in the chat room.
Okay, so our component is done.
Yay!
So basically,
So we can pick the date now.
hopefully.
Yeah.
So let's just go back. Since we're using a component or we are adding a new layer, we need to supply the start value, the value, I should say, the changed event, and also the expression. All of those three things, because we need to get that back all the way back to the model.
Right.
And the expression for the edit context should be the name of the property on the model, not the arbitrary variable name we have here.
Okay.
So that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's go to our fancy geo page.
That we have yet to link.
Taserface.
Oh my god, stop it. I'm on what, 600 milligrams caffeine?
600 milligrams of caffeine.
So I'm easily entertained and not the smartest person today, for sure. Oh yeah, and we also got a comment on the Taserface, I think. Oh god, Jimmy.
I actually believe that Guardians of the Galaxy is releasing on digital tomorrow. I really hope that it's going to be available in Sweden as well.
Cool.
Hopefully. All right. So what we need to do, or what I'm thinking that we want to do, is we want to link to the geo page from a conference. So we're simply going to add a page directive or with the URL geo followed by the conference ID. And we're using a star here because the conference ID is conference or conferences, I don't remember, slash the actual ID, because that's how Raven has the default URLs or IDs. So that's created that way. And if we don't have the star, it's going to assume that we're actually trying to get to another URL. Are you okay?
Too much caffeine.
Okay.
Don't mind me.
Are you going to drink again? So instead of the route figuring out like it's going to be geo/conferences/the ID, which is this URL is not going to find it. So if you have values that has things that URLs tend to have, you need to have the star there.
You're making fun of me now. Take another drink. Sorry. can't even handle my water. There we go. I'm hoping that mute button actually works. Otherwise, I'm sorry.
So let's implement that one.
Yes.
The one we just did. So we are going to go with the awesome DatePicker. We're going to add @bind. So here we can use @bind because it makes sense to have it here. We don't need to do all of those other stuff. So we're going to do, this is actually, oh, come on. Look at this.
Are you going to get angry again because it knows what you want to do?
So I want to use the start date variable. I want to use the end date variable, and I want on date range changed. I don't want to do that, but I'm still going to press tab. So the on change, what we want to do is we want to use the load data async method instead, because that's the method that's going to load all the data. Okay, so these, we don't have any start date, we don't have any end date, and I have a little bit of code to fix that for us. I'm going to add all of that goodness down here. Here we go. So I've added a start date parameter, an end date parameter, and a conference ID that may be null.
Okay.
Because we have two URLs. We have one that has the conference ID, and we have one that does not have the conference ID. To be honest, the top one, I don't know if we're going to use that one, but we needed it to get things working. So let's pop down here where we have some code, and we're going to do a override. Override.
That sounds like a Ben 10 alien.
Override.
Yep.
Yeah.
Is it just me?
Mm-hmm.
Does anyone remember Ben 10? Yeah, this is Omnitrix, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm pointing at my Fitbit, but I wish it was an Omnitrix sometimes.
So we're going to add a onParameter set, and why is this? Okay, it can't be private. Let's do it public. There we go. And why is this? Cannot access mod. Oh, it should be protected. Sorry about that. Protected. Visual Studio did not help me with this one. Is this still wrong? Oh, it should. So Visual Studio helped me. And this is why you don't code live in Visual Studio, because Visual Studio sometimes helps you and it's not on par
with what you want.
Exactly. So let's go back to Stagecoder and see if that actually works.
If that improves.
Yeah. So what we need to do is we need to check if the conference ID is not null. Mm-hmm. So if we have an ID, we should be able to get a conference and get that from the API. So we have an API method called getConference async, and we're going to send in the conference ID.
Right.
Awesome. So now we should have a conference. Now we don't know whether or not we actually do have a conference, because people can write whatever they want in the URL. So let's check that we'd actually have a conference, that it's not null. I actually don't know if this is going to blow up if we go that route or not, but let's try that. Then we're going to say that latitude. So we're going to create we have that variable. We have a property called latitude. Is going to get that latitude from the latitude of the conference. And then we're going to get the longitude, same thing there, from the longitude property. The start date, we're going to get that from the conference as well, the event start. The problem here is that the event start is a date only. And we need a date time because the Telerik component didn't handle date only at this point.
Right.
So we're going to do a date time, send in a time only, and send in 000. So 0 o'clock or 12 o'clock a.m., I guess. I am so annoyed about the naming here.
Why?
Because date only, time only.
Yeah.
If there was just a name like
time,
date,
and date,
time.
Yeah. Didn't we have a rant about that on stream with Tyndall?
Yes.
I don't think it was Thickdoll.
But it needs to be said again.
Yeah. Yep.
And then we're going to set end date.
It was probably already taken for some reason.
Yeah. Same thing there. Event end to date time. Send in the date only. In this case, we're going to do 23:59:59. Like so. Now, if we pop down here, you'll see that what we did for this for the demo last time was that we said, well, we want data only min value, so the lowest possible value of date time and the maximum value of date time, so the longest period possible for a date time.
Yep.
But we don't want that. We want the start date like that and the end date.
Yeah, because we only want the active conferences in that area.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense. Even to my caffeinated brain.
Now, the problem here is that that was super hard to read. We actually using date only in this case.
Right.
So I need to convert that back to date only. So I need to create a date only dot from datetime, boom. Now there's probably a better way of solving this, but for now we're gonna do it like this. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go, copy that one and get that over to that one. There we go. So let's see if this builds. I think it should build at this point. It does. Awesome. So now we should be able to go to geo and then slash the conference ID to get that the view that we're looking for here. So let's pop into the conference page where we do we have that one? There. And I kind of just want to do something very simple with the location. Where's the location?
If only you could search.
Here it is. So I'm just want to add a tag. Ref equals pop. There we go. Now, not all conferences has a location.
Right.
Not all conferences has a location and a longitude and latitude. Mm-hmm. But for now, let's just ignore those. We're going to add
we need to start somewhere.
Yeah, we can add a little bit of if statements and stuff like that later on.
Yeah, let's get it working first.
So let's do geo
Baby steps.
slash... we're actually going to do it like this. So basically what I'm doing here is that I am taking us out of HTML land with that sign.
All right. Into the world of Blazor.
Or C#.
Or C#, yeah, that's true.
I'm saying string, geo, and if I put this dollar sign here, I'm getting a string something string, I don't remember the
What's something string?
So basically what I can do here is I can add the moose wings.
The moose wings. Okay, now it's
So for those of you who are not speaking Swedish, in Swedish these are called seagull wings. But seagull in Swedish is mås, and it's
very close to moose.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just stupid.
If you're like looking at those, I mean,
could be the horns.
It kind of looked like a moose.
Bird parentheses.
So these are the moose wings.
You're not a horrible person. We know. And Thickdoll is welcome as well. Don't worry. It was nice of you to pop in. No location. Secret or virtual or just lack of information?
Yes. In short, yes.
Oh my god, it's called antlers. Of course it's called antlers. Thank you. But yeah, moose wings.
Moose wings.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Lavasoft.
So basically what we're doing here is we are adding a string, we're adding the moose wings, and just adding the conference.id. Boom. So let's see what we got here.
What do we got?
I don't know. Let's see if it works. I'm just as excited as you are. Oh, come on. There we go. So let's go to...
Okay, so you're going to like this, Jimmy. Because Lavasoft says, I just noticed it. I couldn't point it out at first, but but now, Jess, you look a little bit like the cartoon, Janine Melnitz. Guess where? Well, Ghostbusters.
I know Ghostbusters.
I know you do.
So let's go with Sweet Hug, because...
We know that one.
We know that one. Pop that one in there, and you'll see that we have... This is very anonymous, to be honest. It doesn't say that it's actually clickable here, so we need to fix that. I think we're actually going to add a link down here, like do a geo search or something like that.
Well, we have a bunch of things that we want to do, but we're doing baby steps. And accessibility and UX is one of the things we're working.
Yeah. So for now, we're just going to click Gothenburg here, and
no result.
Why is it saying no results?
I don't know. What does the URL say?
It shouldn't say no results.
But it's a slash on the right. What did you say?
Yes, that's right.
Oh, okay.
And as you can see here, like the conferences / the ID here is actually, I think I know what's wrong. Because do we actually have no result? Is that an option here?
To have a what?
To have the no result? Is that even on this page?
I don't know.
No, this is the wrong page I'm looking at. Here we go. If no conferences... Yes, we do have a no results. So that makes sense, I guess. But what we do want to do is we don't want to, on initialized, load the data.
Mm-hmm.
We want to load the data when the properties change. So we want to do it on parameter change, because if we change the conference, we want the page to reload the data.
Right. Otherwise, we will only get one.
Yeah. So at the end of this one, we're going to add load data async. Let's reload that one.
We have some trivia. Just a fun fact. I hope you know, or you will. Star Wars and Ghostbusters has a connection. The Corvette Summer from '76. They had both Annie Potts and Mark Hamill in it. Cool. I did not know.
So if you look here,
we have a map.
See that we do have a
map. And it is Gothenburg.
It is Gothenburg.
Oh my gosh, the zooming is not the best. Can you use the buttons or something?
So my mouse is a little bit tricky here.
It's mouse.
So basically what I can do here is I can click here and I can select something larger larger span of dates.
Yeah, like we're going to be on the West Coast in
The problem here is
October
that
or whatever.
the span or the radius is only 400 kilometers or whatever. So it's
so that is actually on the verge of we're hitting the edge of that between Stockholm and Gothenburg.
yes.
Yeah.
And apparently there are no things happening in that area. So we're going to do...
Yeah, that's a tiny area. It's a good area if it's just like your hometown and you don't want to travel a lot. But if it's like, well, we're already going to the South Coast, what else is there? Then we need a bigger span, I think.
So what we're going to do is we're going to do basically the same thing we just did. But we're going to do it with the slider components instead. We're going to create a new one.
So we're going to have that encapsulated as well.
Exactly.
Nice.
So
I'm learning here.
Do an awesome slider dot razor.
Sliders.
And I'm actually just going to copy this one in because you just saw me do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
And
if you didn't, you can watch the recording on YouTube. Subscribe.
But let's talk about what is going on here. Because we're adding the Telerik slider. We do have a value. And we have the value change. We have the value expression. And this is the only parameter that we're doing this with. Because that is the only value that is going to change from the slider component.
Okay.
Right? Because we're setting the min value. We're setting the max value. These can't be changed from the component.
Right.
So we only need to do all of that with the value property.
Okay.
So the min and max is just properties.
Yeah.
We can show them here. Just an int and, the two ints actually. The Telerik slider is also a generic one. So we could use decimal, we can use double, we can use whatever we want to use. But I think that we don't need decimals for this. It's like... Yeah,
I think like, 40.4 kilometers, that makes no sense.
That's exactly what I'm thinking. So I'm saying, you know what? We're going to use ints. And this is where this kind of abstraction is kind of nice because we can say that in our place of work, we're just going to use ints for the sliders. We can make that
decision ourselves.
Yeah, exactly. And we can limit the things that we can do. So if you're using the awesome slider, it's going to say, hey, you need to use an int. Oh, right. For some reason, I used a decimal. Now I remember. And you can fix that.
Yeah.
So you're going to get a little bit more help when you're doing it like with this abstraction layer.
Nice. Our friend Lavasoft actually went to his first DreamHack.
Oh, really?
Nice. Oh, you felt less old? Oh, that's cool. That's cool because in the beginning I felt more like it's the 12-year-olds, but I think it's changed a lot since the beginning for sure. It's.
Have you been to DreamHack?
I haven't been, no, but I've read about it and looked at it. No. You would know. I wouldn't go without you.
Maybe you did it before we met.
I don't think it was in the ancient times. There was no DreamHack in the ancient times. Well, we had ADSL when I moved up. For sure, there wasn't a DreamHack. If it wasn't someone's mother's basement where they had some LAN connection. Yeah, no, I don't think so.
So we have the min-max, we have the value. We also have an event callback for value changed, an expression for value expression, and an on-change event callback as well.
So it's changed while I'm changing.
Exactly, that's what we want. We want to be able to notify back and say, you know what, something changed. So...
Oh my god, that is so cool! There was a grandmother there playing Fortnite.
Nice.
I love it.
Now, the really cool thing here is that we can define small step, large step. That's basically what where you're going to see small markers for on the slider.
Yeah, and I also need to say that you were right. On stream, you were right. There was actually such thing as DreamHack before we met.
Thank you, Simon.
Yeah.
I'll pay you later.
3 years. No, 4 years. 4 years. Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry.
Let's see. We got a couple of options here, so we can show buttons. And I don't want to show buttons because they actually
we don't have any buttons.
Yeah, but they're the default value. Actually, let's
show buttons.
Let's show buttons. Yeah. So we're gonna. I'm gonna go back to my sheet page here. Where do we have it? The geo. There we go. And I'm just gonna pop that one in here. The awesome slider.
Oh, the Fortnite grandma is a Swede, and she streams, and it's super funny. I really like people that see age as just a number, because some people basically gives up on technology because I'm way too old for this. My mom is running multiple forums and does everything online. There's nothing she does rather IRL than online because it's just a number. I like that. That's cool.
So I added the awesome slider.
Yeah.
Min value, max value.
Mm-hmm.
I'm binding to radius. Now radius was previously, if we go down here, it's a double. Mm-hmm. So we're going to change that to an int because...
We've decided on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have the on change. So when I'm changing it, I want it to load the data sync again.
Yeah.
Or load the data.
Of course.
So in both cases, we're like reloading the data as we need it. Great. So let's see it in action. See what it looks like. It looks like a error message.
There you go.
Let's see if there we go.
We have a slider.
So you see the buttons here.
Yeah.
But if I go up here, we pop it up a couple of now this is the kind of nice thing.
Oh, no, look at that.
See that the slider goes up and down like this?
Yeah.
I mean, doing a slider, this is basically just an HTML, whatever that element is called. It's not that difficult to do one of these, but getting all of these nice interactions with it,
for free.
It's sliding up and down here.
Yeah, or built in rather.
Now,
but what would be very handy is actually to plot out the radius.
You can probably do that.
Yeah.
I need to figure that one out though.
Yeah.
Now, if I go all the way up here, you will see that there's a conference down here.
Oh,
what's up with that?
I saw a conference.
Let me do
There's
that.
something, I think it's gestures on your mouse.
Yeah, I think it's definitely mouse problem.
So don't use the mouse while you're handling the map.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Let me reload the page here. We're getting into trouble again. There we go. So if I go all the way up here, you see that there are conference down here. Mm-hmm. And that's DateRange conference.
It is a really good conference, and it's actually organized by our friends from Progress Telerik.
Yeah. And to be very, very clear, they did not tell us to tell you this.
No.
This is actually one of my absolute favorite conferences as a speaker and as an attendee.
Yep.
It's they really take care of their speakers.
For sure.
So if you want to learn more about, I know that Chris Saint is there.
Yeah.
Nick Chapsas, which actually we recorded a podcast yesterday with Nick Chapsas.
Take care, Napalm. Yeah, and it's in Sofia. Yeah, it's very, very, very nice. Yeah,
and apparently 9 degrees.
I think Alyssa is going to be there as well.
Yes, absolutely. Ed, Sam.
Yeah. All of our
Actually, I
friends.
don't know if Ed is going,
No.
but Sam is.
Tech is an age thing. Nah, my maternal grandfather was 80 plus, early 2K, and embraced the internet. I like it. It's just a number.
Yeah.
Yeah, but seriously, it's a good conference.
So if we click this one, we'll see that, well,
It centers
stuff
around
happening.
that.
And I'm assuming that if I go up to the top here
And do not
and not using
use
the
your
mouse,
mouse.
we will see that it's happening something in Gothenburg as well.
Yeah.
And something actually broke.
And it is actually overlapping with Sveatuggen
Yes.
and
one day is,
yeah.
is overlapping, which is
Really
I would actually
sad.
have loved to go to DateRange, but
Well, you don't know if you are speaking in Gothenburg, so there's that.
that's true. That's true. So
Especially since you haven't submitted anything.
that might be a real problem for it. So now again, if I click Gothenburg, you will see that I can select dates. I can go. Let's do a even larger date range here. Let's pop up bit here. Oh, there are a lot of conferences happening around that time.
Something in the UK as well.
Yeah.
Look at me knowing a country. Hey, is
United Kingdom, like the biggest letters in the world.
I can't read that from here. Is that the jungle theme Tekorama?
Somewhere here.
Yeah.
I think it might be. Let's scroll down here.
Because that's also a good conference.
It is. There we go.
They did not either ask us to say that. We just like conferences.
But let's take a look at the conference link. Let's go to speakers. And we can scroll down here. Hey, another Jimmy. Eric is one of the... I did a course, one of his courses, and I talked to him about becoming an MVP. That was when he was an MVP. I think he's actually working for Microsoft now. And he was like giving me some tips and hey, you should do this and that. Well, and here we are, 10 years later.
10 years later, it's
hey, Nick Shapsas. I don't know if I actually
finished
concluded
that session.
So we recorded a podcast with Nick. We're gonna release it hopefully next week. Hopefully I'm gonna get some time.
Very fun recording.
It was really fun.
Very fun.
And we can scroll down.
There's
here.
even some curse
hey, look
words.
At that. I know that guy.
What? Kind of look like you.
I know, right?
Doesn't he?
I know.
Huh. That's odd.
A little bit tinier on the picture, not as gray as I am now. This is a really old picture, and I'm not changing it out until I have a better picture.
Are you crying? I'm not crying.
You're crying.
No, there's a lot of awesome people here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that
was a tangent.
There's one more thing that I want to do.
Is it remove the images?
So last time, the chat room was like, yeah, the images are ugly.
Yeah,
and
me too.
Yeah, I know.
But I hang in the chat room, so that's fine.
And also my colleague was like, are you going to do anything about those ugly images?
The problem with the images is that they are inconsistent. We cannot control how they look on dark background and light background because we have both, which means that some of them will look like crap. So yeah.
Better?
Much better. You can keep the images in the page, but not in the list.
Yeah, so if
this
we go
is so
into
much
the
nicer.
conference, we still have the image here, and I'm not removing that.
No, that's
I
fine.
refuse.
You can keep it.
If you want to remove that, you need to check in the code yourself.
In Visual Studio Code?
No.
Damn it. Did just do an unknowing reference to Men in Tights, where the main guy swims to England and arrives at the coast there with a letter saying England. Well, it was unknowing, for sure. But yeah, nice. That could come so much in handy if we actually had those letters everywhere.
So we got that working.
Yep. Nice. So we removed the images. Yay.
Yeah, and I think I kind of want to do one more thing.
Yeah, I know. You always want to do one more thing.
So the overlapping conferences, this looks horrific.
Well, it's not the worst on the page, but it's not pretty.
But what I want to do is I want to use these instead and just list them underneath.
Yeah.
So we're going to go
It makes sense if it's actually looking the same. It has the same aesthetics.
So let's go
We were using the card thingies.
Yes.
Yeah.
So let's go into, I think that's actually a component called overlapping conferences. There we go. We have a table, we have a loop thingy. So let's just...
A loop thingy? There's no loop.
The virtualize thingy here. So we're just going to be able to remove all of that. We don't need the virtualize component anymore. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a @ because we want to go into the C# land, right? For each item in conferences. There we go. And since we added a component for conferences, we could do conference item. I definitely don't want to have all of that stuff in here. I'm going to add that up here instead. Using
Lavasoft says, I watch a lot of movies in many different ways, not just sport themed. Like some others. Well, what do you say? The Men in Tights, I mean, that's basically sport. They were swimming. Also, Jimmy likes anything with Stallone or Ivan Drago.
Dolph Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. And so it's not only sport. Okay, so we have show call for papers.
Don't want to show the call for papers.
Yeah.
I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
We want to...
yeah, because we don't want to know if it's open or closed. We just want to see the overlap here on this page.
And the do not show call for paper is actually what is used for the attendees.
Exactly.
Which is showing the dates when the conference is happening.
And it makes more sense that we actually do it the same way.
Yeah. And here's a bug.
Okay.
So
not a feature?
No, this is definitely a bug. So in this case, the data Terranemo is a conference that is probably user group. So
yeah, and also
if you look
it's
at
2019.
Exactly, but it's ending 2919. So it's
right.
not wrong.
Okay, so, and this is probably data from Sessionize, because they recently, like a year back or so, started to open up for not only call for papers for conferences, but also for meetups. But before that, you could kind of cheat the system, if you will, because you need to pay per conference. So we pay for conference Gothenburg 2023. We also pay for Stockholm 2024 and 2023. So it's like per conference. So they make one humongous conference that, well, obviously goes on for 20 years or 10 years, because then they can continue to get call for papers and suggestions.
But the odd thing is that it's not for cheating the system, because Sessionize is actually free for free conferences.
Yeah.
So it's like,
but
really...
there are also the issue with if it's free, but it's a meetup and you're doing that every month, you do not, as an organizer, want to put a new conference out every month because it's a lot of work. Because then you need to start over with your speakers, because they are not transferable from year to year. You can see them, but it's not transferable. So this is a way to make things easier, maybe not cheat the system.
So this feels wrong. So Suite to Gothenburg. Where do we have the... Well, it's DateRange. Well, maybe it's not wrong.
But you had a larger span, didn't you? So make the span a little shorter.
No, this is the overlapping conferences for
Oh,
Gothenburg.
right. Okay.
Well, we need
Yeah,
to
it's-
fix it a little bit because we need some kind of divider or
Oh,
whatever.
right. You don't have the cards
No,
here.
actually,
Okay.
I do have the cards because the cards is
But the card is sitting on a background.
yeah.
Which is not the same size as the one above. Ooh.
But
Wow.
it is still better than we had it
is-
before. Are you saying it's not better?
It is better. Baby steps. Baby steps is okay. Baby steps is okay.
I think it's much better. So another thing that we need to do, but we're not going to do it now, but that is if we load the page, we go down here. These buttons are horrendous.
Well, yeah.
But
Those are their friends.
it's working. We're getting there.
900 years. Who will be there? Yoda or Baby Yoda? Yeah, probably Baby Yoda or Grogu. Are we allowed to call him Baby Yoda?
No.
No. Okay, Grogu.
You were never allowed to do that.
Well, people did before we actually learned their name.
But it's not okay.
Okay. But it was a baby.
I had a friend that when...
Had a friend?
actually,
You broke
yes.
up with him?
No, but he actually is no longer with us.
Oh, okay. Thanks for making me look like an a-hole.
But he called me up when Phantom Menace came out, so the first prequel of Star Wars, and he was like, and we never spoke on the phone, but he was like, I need to call someone. So we saw the movie, and he's like, oh, so I have a question. This little boy, what is up with this? Is that Luke? And I'm like, what? No. What do you mean?
Anakin.
What do you mean, Luke? They call him Anakin. Why would you think it's Luke?
Yeah.
He totally missed that.
Well, it's Din Grogu, Jimmy. You just got well actually. Are you not up to date?
Spoilers.
Well, it's been a season or two. It's fine, I think. There must be some. I mean, we can't. You just spoiled Star Wars Phantom Menace, so.
Did I?
Yeah,
I just
you said
it
that the
wasn't-
little boy was not Luke.
But you kind of know that the whole movie. All right, so I think we are in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
We implemented 2 new components.
Mm-hmm.
We got Telerik slider and Telerik DatePicker working with all of
We
this.
removed the images.
We removed the images.
We still need to rework the color scheme and look into accessibility and stuff like
Yes.
that. And next time we can look into Lighthouse and see if we can get some report on our webpage.
Yeah.
Or get a to-do list from that.
But I think we are at a better place than we were earlier.
It's just me who has a
And
little
I
slight problem with
kind of
baby
like
steps.
this search.
Yeah.
Is there any conferences happening? No, just.
Just in Kenya.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, there
have
we
two.
go.
I really like this search, to be honest.
Yeah.
I didn't think this would be as useful.
But
as,
I think
as,
it comes in handy if you are living in the US and you're coming to Europe, maybe you want to see what else there is, or vice versa. And that when we are going to the US, is there anything else we can do while we're there?
And I think that we actually didn't remove the buttons. Let's do that. I saw them. Let's do that.
You saw the buttons.
Because there is a point to that.
Mm-hmm.
So let's I think it was show buttons equals false. And not like that. Let's add that as well. No. There we go.
And this is a prime example why you need to use Stage Coder.
Yeah. Why I need to use
Yes.
Oh, come on.
False 2? It's adjusted false 2? That's not how you name things. Except in Photoshop, then it's allowed.
There's also, what is it called? It's called tick position. And tick position is where the lines, all these lines are.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think we need them.
No.
So I kind of want to do...
It's
so
more
this is
when you need a more specific, like... if we're talking about searching in an online shop, you want to have the span, well, for something between $5 and $20 or $100 or $500.
And if we manage to implement the radius that you talked about, that it's not going to be needed.
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
basically going to be able to see that. So I want none, right?
Yeah.
So let's save that and see if
they disappear.
I guess we need... Oh, there we go. So the point of showing that is that now I set that for the whole project, for all... If we're making a component library for our workplace or whatever, we're going to have no tick marks. We're going to have no buttons for all.
Because you set it in a higher level, and it's just...
Exactly, because of the abstraction.
Yeah.
And if we want to add the buttons, or add the ticks, or change colors, or whatever it may be, we can do it in one place, and it's just going to work.
I'm a big fan of doing it in one place.
One of the most useful places we can use this is actually the text boxes or the numeric boxes or whatever it may be, because you probably want to have a label and then the text box, and you want to have the label at the same place every time.
Exactly.
We have done a lot of stuff like that where I work. I have the label, we have the text box, we have whether or not it should be if you can edit the text box. If you can't edit the text box, the default behavior of most of the components is going to be that it's going to take the text box and just disable it. But I don't want it to be a text box unless I can edit it.
Yeah.
So then
it should be another component.
Yeah. So basically, what we have is we have an if statement. If you can edit the value, it's going to be the text box, and if you cannot, it's just going to be a span or whatever. So you get this kind of nice reusable components that you can use for everything. And
you control it in one place, which means that if you are adding accessibility and stuff, you only need to add that for one place, and you do not have to worry because you're reusing it in your whole project.
And you're limiting the Telerik components has like million things that you can change and edit and stuff like that. In this case, we're just exposing the start and the end date and unchanged, or the min and max and the value.
Because that's the only thing we wanted for this project. But
exactly.
We can use the others.
And it's going to be a lot of work to do these kinds of abstractions, but I think it's worth it because you get that security.
Yeah.
For all the
it's
components.
Especially good if you're a large company or a very small project, because if it's a small project, it's easy to, I think it was this kind of blue, and then all of a sudden you end up with 99 different blue colors because it was sort of this blue and you don't know where you changed it and you forgot one and you're redoing that. But also if it's a big company, it's more important that we all use the same component so it looks cohesive.
And to add on to the color problem, in my case, we're trying to avoid having colors. We don't have the BTN success or BTN danger or whatever it may be. We add an enum that is describing what the button is doing. So we're doing a save button. We're doing a delete button. The delete and cancel button looks the same, but we still have two different enum values so that we, at any point, can change that.
Yeah, because technically they could look the same, but they could have different, they could be doing different things. So you could add on that.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
So we prepare for all the possibilities, basically. So while I go in and push this.
Should I look for someone to rate?
Yes, let's do that.
Let's see. Who's online? Actually, we have Visual Studio online.
Oh, really? Let's rate Visual Studio.
Yeah, and thank you for joining us, and see you next time. Take care, everyone.
Bye.